hey everyone, we just filmed an episode of Hotshots, so it's gonna look backwards. We'll put this part at the beginning, and then you were just gonna fade into the show. Here we go.
Plus, there's another one. I realized I replied back on another one. There was a clip back to the Batman, the animated one, like
yeah.
When they had the nice, pointed.
Yeah, we talked about that one. Yes, I know that. The
right.
Batman.
Right.
Yes.
So there's a clip there with Robin, and someone was saying like, people are like saying, is this Dick or is this Jason? Everybody's saying this is Dick. At the time it was Dick Grayson, but it was a certain time where they met up against the Penguin and his henchmen, and Batman like saying, do you want it hard or easy? And Robin's like, please make it hard.
Yes.
How to have my practice, whatever the case would be.
Right.
Oh, something about the lackeys, and that was a joke. So they're like saying, dang man, Robin had quick hands, man. He got hands. He's had hands for days. It's like people are saying, oh, listen, you thinking Jason is crazy? Dick was crazy back in the days. He just had to calm himself. I made a comic. Yeah, he was quick hands, Dick Grayson. But that's Dick. That was in the early days, so that wasn't Jason. Whatever the case is. Also, as a footnote, when you see Batgirl is Barbara. Barbara and Dick are the same age. So whenever you see Batgirl, that is her opposite or her opposite person. Robin will always be Dick. So just letting you know in the time that who that is. A person like, oh, good shot. I see that. That makes sense. Good observation. That's a good observation. No one replied back on the other one.
Right.
Now I look back and look. But
yeah. I know exactly which episode you have because I got those on DVD, man. I watch those all the time. Like I like that version of Batman. And that was so good though. Because people don't. If you watch, if there's one book on, it was based off almost like the Mask of Phantasm, but it wasn't. I was like Batman Year 2, and the art was, I think the cover was like by Todd McFarlane, but the inside was Alan. I can't remember his name, but he was the artist for Excalibur. So when Excalibur started off with Captain Britain, Megan, Nightcrawler, Shadowcat. And it was that version of the team. He was the artist. Okay. Right? And he did a Batman. So I think it was like Batman Year 2, or it was like a one shot or whatever. They had to fight this villain. It was like all in red with a hook and all that. And, Dick Grayson's in there as Robin, right? They're showing the early days. So Batman goes in there and he's got to deal with, I think it was the Riddler he was fighting. And Dick Grayson comes down on a conveyor belt. When you're at a grocery store? Right. And you have the conveyor belt, but it doesn't have the straps on it. It's just like the rollers. Yes. So Dick Grayson comes sliding down on a milk crate. And he's like, let me out. And Batman's like, you need to calm down. like after the fight was over, he's like, why'd you come in there? That was rash. And Dick Grayson, he's like, he's a young kid. He's laughing. Yeah. And he's like, Batman, don't worry, I got this. It's like, people don't realize how wild he was.
He was a wild one.
Right? Everyone thinks of see him now as Nightwing, and he's like smirky, and he's like smooth and whimsical, and he's got a little bit of charm. People forget how wild Dick Grayson Robin was in his youth.
Listen, you can go back and say that even for Young Justice, they even pulled on that. If you remember in the first season, she was always like something happened. Robin, where are you? He's out doing it. God, we got to work as a team. Yeah. I can't wait for you guys because you guys are amateurs. Smoke bomb, gone. Yeah, because he was just wild.
Dick Grayson as Robin. I think a lot of people have now known him as Nightwing. They knew he used to be Robin. And a lot of people have lost focus. He was the original kind of Joker sidekick with a lot of stuff. And he would throw caution to the wind. I mean, but understand where he was coming from. Right? The Flying Graysons, they were doing trapeze acts in the circus, going around without a safety net. So he really has no fear of certain situations. Completely. And he'll jump and have faith of, I'll work it out.
Yeah, exactly. And you can look at it in the writing styles of it. It was basically Batman was so dark and serious kind of scenario. You needed a polar opposite. So you have him a sidekick, but now we realize that he's not the same. Like Kid Flash, the Flash, they're practically the same in that sense. Although Wally was more admirable, like, oh my God, my mentor is Barry Allen, my mentor is the Flash.
Yeah, because that turned out to be his uncle, right? So it was like Uncle Barry. It's like, okay, cool, right?
So that worked out.
And that's like more of a a mentorship, looking up to who it
and
was.
That's exactly it. So, but with Robin, it wasn't like that. And Robin basically gave you the mindset of saying like, or they wrote it into like saying, if you got dark, you got someone who's a polar opposite, who's a whimsical kid, who's just realizing, listen, I'm a 13-year-old kid. I can fight crime. Yo, I'm going out. I'm going to have fun. And that was it. That was it.
Now, come on. Can you blame him? You're 13. You're 13. You're living in a mansion, right? Your guardian, who will be adoptive father at one point, is a billionaire. He's got every gadget and toy that you can get your hands on as Bruce Wayne. And then you go behind the clock and you go downstairs. That's a young boy's dream. I mean, you walk into the Batcave, it's like, wait a minute, you got the best computers here. You got other cars. Every boy's room is his lair. That's his cave. That's his fortress of solitude, right? You understand? That's his satellite. He walks into his room. Every parent will have the house, and every child, when they hit a teenager, will have their room, and their room will be done totally different furniture, posters, whatever case would be. Come on now. And you're trying to tell me as a 13-year-old boy, if I was 13 and you put me in the Batcave, you think I'm not going to turn around and carry on a certain way?
Completely. Here, even to that note as well. He realized he has one of the best and the greatest secrets in Gotham, and he can't tell it. So you're more excited, like, you don't know what I know. Oh, you don't know what I know. Right. I'm like, the joy is bubbling up inside him. Like, you don't know what I know. Right. You don't know who I am.
Yeah, you understand? Okay, look, we're going to turn. So here it is. So even then, and you take this whole point of it, right? He comes from Flying Graysons.
Right.
Finds out, gets taken in by Batman. Finds out he's Bruce Wayne. So he's just moving on up, like good times, moving on up, right? Like the Jeffersons. Then he gets taught by Batman how to fight. All right, you get sent to a private school. You think Dick Grayson ever got bullied at school? Because if a bully's talking to him, what's Dick Grayson do? He's going to laugh in his face because in his mind, it's like,
I can
pump you.
Listen, I can look at you right now. I'm still learning, but I know there's at least 27 ways I can take you down. And I know at least 20 of them is lethal. Now to remember which of the 7 or the smallest one, that won't permanently get me in trouble. Not even he's not thinking about killing, but what the least I can do that won't get me in trouble? What's the least won't get anybody to start recognizing, realizing, how do you know all those stuff? So I got to be very careful, very selective. Yeah. That would be the best mindset to have a child for him. That'd be the best thing. That's the best. Right. That's all I can say. You can't fight that. You can't fight that. No, he was living the life. He was living the life. Like, I mean, this is basically one of those type of one of those type of pocket worlds that, like you said, anybody who had the ability to live that. Listen, I'm thinking as a full grown man in that sense that I had some kind of secret identity, that secret world, whatever the case would be. And I could do stuff that you can't do. And I know it. And behind this veil, you don't know who I am. I'm just like, yeah, push me again. Push me again.
Okay. See, and Bruce ain't going to say anything about vengeance because Bruce is all about vengeance and justice. So let's wait. Dick Grayson goes to school. Picture typically, I know we're right on the different.
No, keep going.
There we go. Dick Grayson goes to school, right? Kid bullies him. Even if there's more than one kid, Dick Grayson's going to look at him and say, okay, you guys are bigger than me. There's 6 of you. But let me see. Last night, what did I do? I fought the Joker and 7 of his grown adult henchmen, and I took them out. Batman dealt with Joker. I dealt with the henchmen. You guys have no fighting ability. I'll take you out. Right? So that's 1. 2. Then you go into another scenario. Well, if I want to mess this kid, let me go back to the Batcave, get down to the Batcomputer, and let me just hack into the school records. And guess what? Listen. And wait a minute, he has mechanics? No, his new subject is going to be home ec. He has shop class? No, he's going to be learning how to sew. So he can change that guy's classes to whatever class he wants to. Walk in the next day and says, "Hey man, how's home ec? I was supposed to have shop. I was supposed to have mechanics. I don't know where I got this from." It's like, I don't know, man. Oh, wait a minute. You got gym all day? Or it's like, he can put him in all the hardest classes. Like, yeah, you got calculus 1 in the morning, calculus 2 in the afternoon, calculus 3 in the evening. See you? Like, Dick Grayson is that dangerous. Like, he's got that much ability. The only thing, Batman was like, okay, Dick, you can't do that. And Dick's like, I was just joking, Batman. I was just joking, Big B.
Facts. Facts.
Right? Like, how do you bully Dick Grayson as a teenager in high school?
No,
Like,
you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Sorry, retract. You can bully him because you don't know what's on the other side of that veil. You will learn. You'll learn today. And the thing is, Dick will be the one who will make the choice. Will you learn today or not? Will I accept this L to keep my composure, to keep my secret identity in place, to make sure I don't get myself in trouble with Bruce?
Right.
I may have to take a hit, or just for the appearance.
Yes.
But rest assured, then we're gonna come to Young Justice. Touchscreen changing up. Okay, you want to mess with me? Calculus 1, 2, and 3. Save. Yeah. What happened? Oh, I don't know. Oh, Grayson, I'm coming for you. Okay, all right, no problem. What's wrong with you next week? Following day. Billy, what happened to you? I don't know, man. My schedule's all messed up. What happened? Oh, you got calculus? Oh,
poor Boo Boo.
Poor Boo Boo. Poor Diddy. Poor Bibi.
Come on. And then who's his best friends? Let's look at it. Back in the day, we were talking to teenage Dick Grayson.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's the Teen Titans Volume 1 issue, whatever. That's the Teen Titans when they get together, right?
It's the founders. It's the founders. Yeah.
It's the founders. That's Aqualad. That's Speedy. Well, even before Speedy, it was literally Robin, Wonder Girl, right? And they used to call Wonder Chick. And she used to get pissed off by it. I don't know why they messed with her that way. She was the muscle of the team, along with Aqualad and Kid Flash.
Kid Flash, right.
That was it. It was just the four of them.
Yeah.
Speedy wasn't on the team originally. He came on later on, but it was just those four. Now, going back to it, you're going to mess with a young Dick Grayson, a teenage Dick Grayson. He's got money.
Facts.
He's got skills. And his friends, he could sit there in a conversation at the malt shop. Because let's go back. The Teen Titans was back in the 60s.
Let's go back to those
They all went to the malt shop, right? They don't got malt shops. Everyone doing coffee now. But back then, it was the malt shop. And they would go to the malt shop, sit there, and do one of these. Hey, man, Dick, what's going on? Oh, Wally, man, I had a tough day at school. This guy was on my case. He was just bugging me. He just pissed me off today. Really? What guy? Oh, so-and-so, he's in this class or whatever case would be. Where's his locker? Oh, his locker is in this thing. Oh, okay. Wally, why did I see wind? Don't worry about it, man.
Don't worry about it. I got you.
Because Wally could have just said, what does he look like? Where's his locker? And Wally could have ran, got whatever, like a bunch of, toilet paper. He could have got a bunch of cream pies. And at super speed, he could have shoved them all in this kid's locker, ran back and met Dick at the malt shop and say, yeah, don't worry about it, man.
I got you.
School will be interesting. Wally, what'd you do? Don't worry about it. Have a good day.
Right. Because Wally was a joker. So it's definitely easy for him to...
No shame. I mean, with Barry, Wally would hold himself back, right? Because okay,
respect
and his uncle,
right,
adult, right? But Wally does have that side to him now. Wally on the Teen Titans, who's gonna be that voice of reason?
If Dick is not telling you to be the voice of reason, it's too late. You didn't tell him to stop. Too late. What? Don't worry about it. I'll take the consequences from you tomorrow. When you hit me up, when we meet back for the team meeting tomorrow afternoon, back at the malt, I know I'll get to talk later, but it was well worth it.
Of course, come on. You don't think that Wally and Dick were ever scolded by their others, by Batman and Flash about bullying or getting people back? I'm sure they had to have a talk about them a couple of times on certain issues. Wonder Girl, she was more mature, so she wouldn't get into that. Right? Aqualad wouldn't get bullied because people knew who would be coming for them.
Facts. And again,
he's king.
Right.
Aquaman is king. You can't bug the so-called surrogate prince. Aquaman is king.
Right. But even then, Aqualad he was prim and proper in the sense. He was always...
Well, he was groomed by a king.
Right. So he wouldn't be the one to be you know what?
He would be more surprised. It's like, well, maybe undersea, no problem. But on land, he'd have that mentality of, you guys are trying to bully me? Do you not know that I'm connected to royalty? It's like literally one of those things of like, don't you know who I am?
The Bullies.
Don't you know who I am? And people are like, no, we don't. It's like, okay. It's like, go back to sea, fish boy. Oh, all right. Then I also know magic too, but you guys don't really know that's coming yet. So
yeah,
hold on. Like
you'll learn one day.
I make jokes about a lot of stuff on stage, man, but I can't even picture who would, as a 13-year-old boy, if I was in Dick Grayson's shoes at the age of 13 to 15. 13 to 16, because all right, I'm a late bloomer. 13 to 18, I was jumping. Okay, up to my 20s. Okay, up to my 20s. You tell me that I'm in a mansion with a guy that has a teleporter up to this Justice League satellite. I've got my own headquarters with my own team, and on top of it, I got access to the Batmobile, the Batplane, because there was no Batwing at the time. The Batplane, the Bat helicopter, the Bat boat,
right.
and gadgets galore. And that's in my secret, and that is my hero persona, in my secret identity, my civilians, my cities. I can go around the world and be like, outdo these NBA players and rap stars. Come on now. Dick Grayson, he comes from a billionaire. Do you think Bruce Wayne ever looked at what he spent? Bruce will come in and it's like, Dick, what are you doing? Oh, I got a new computer. Oh, all right. How much it cost you? Yeah. It got specially made. It's a $10,000 high-end gaming computer or whatever. Bruce Wayne not even going to think about that. He's like, are you happy? Yeah. Don't forget, we got the mission tonight.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No problem. I'll put the game on pause. The mission comes first. I'll put the game on pause. I mean,
this is the way.
Right? This is the way. Come on now. Even if you watch that cartoon, the cartoon there, the Batman that you mentioned earlier, okay? Right. There's an episode where I can't remember, it was like season 4 or 5. No, it had to be season 4. I think it was season 4, right? Because 5 was all the crossovers leading up to the Justice League. So I think it was season 4. And in there, the episode starts off with Nightwing. Okay, in the future, and you see Batman, and Batman is older, but it's the character Nightwing comes into play, and then as the episode goes over, you see game over, and then it pulls back, and you realize it's Dick Grayson in the Batcave on the Batcomputer playing a game, and the character he made, his avatar, was Nightwing with the classic Nightwing costume that he grows up to be. So he made this avatar with this look to fight another guy. And this is when Joker became, pulled a Tron where he got sucked into the computer and he became like,
right,
binary and stuff like that. Right. Okay. And he, so that whole episode, and they had to deal with the guy who helped create it and all that. So it was a whole gaming kind of episode. But pictured it, Dick Grayson dressed as Robin in the Batcave on the Batcomputer, using it because the computer is high-end screen, memory, RAM, processor, speakers, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And he's sitting there playing a video game. Come on. How cool is that? Like, you can only get cooler, literally, if you fly to the Fortress of Solitude and you start playing a game in Superman's fortress. Because, it's cool just because of temperature. That's it. You're in the Batcave, in between missions, and Bruce Wayne comes in and is like, Robert, what are you doing? The computer wasn't meant for this. Yeah, but you see, Batman, he didn't even say no. He didn't even try to hide it. It's on a 100-inch, whatever, 200-inch screen.
Crazy.
Is your video game system.
Crazy. Yeah.
Who would bully Robin? Dick Grayson. And get away with it.
No, facts. Hard facts. Yeah.
I don't see any of the sidekicks getting bullied in school. I mean, I know they try to write it that way, and they try to do it more like a 90210 where it's like, okay, relationships and dating and stuff like that. But you never see them in a bully situation, I think the odd time they tried, and most of the time you realize they have to hold back. I mean, classic case was Man of Steel.
Right.
Okay. Before he becomes Superman, he's young Clark Kent. He has his occurrences with powers, and there's one situation where these kids from the school pull him out the truck. They throw him against the fence. They start yelling at him. It's like, you want to hit me? Come on, hit me. And he's just holding a pipe. Like, no one's seeing his hand. Like, how my hand is out of shot. He's just holding the pipe. And then his dad comes over. He's like, everything okay? He's like, oh, okay, guys, we gotta go. And one of the other guys, Ross White.
Ross, yeah.
Ross, right. Ross helps him up, and then walks away. And he's like, Dad, I wanted to hit this kid so bad. And his dad was like, yeah, but what would it have solved?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of both look over, and you see the fence post metal crumped up because he's just holding it.
Yep.
He's like, I'm gonna take it up. It's like, I know, but then what? See, now that's called voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is all about vengeance. And justice, but his whole thing is about vengeance. So it's like, hey, Bruce, Dick, what happened at school today? Oh, these kids were bugging me, they're bullying me around, and if Dick Grayson's smart, it's like, I want vengeance. Can't say anything. Make sure no bones are broken, okay?
Hilarious.
Hey,
Yo, it's good. Listen, I just looked up. It's like, for that one, it's called Artifacts. So the episode is Artifacts. It's season 4, episode 7. Artifacts.
See, I knew it was season 4 because I remember season 5 is when they bring in all the crossovers for the Justice League. So I said, one, how do you bully? How would Dick Grayson get bullied in school, being the original Robin? Like, you come from a high flying family. You're people might shun him, saying, "Oh, hey, look, rich boy," and he'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, you don't know what I know. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way Bruce played it. So he's watching Bruce because Bruce played it off. Everybody making, "Oh, you're a rich boy. You're just that billionaire guy, playboy guy." Like, yeah, I got to put on that mask. As which show was it? It definitely was a real live one. When they were saying, like, your Bruce Wayne is the mask. Batman is the real entity.
Right.
It's a real persona.
Yes.
So Dick we doing that, but you know how Dick never wanted to be.
No, it was never in his nature to be that dark.
Right.
It was never his nature. I'm just saying that him at that time.
Oh no, for sure.
The most that would happen is there's a girl at school that he likes, and then of course that girl doesn't want to date him. But that's right, he didn't want to date them girls at school. He wanted to date girls in the superhero community. So this is why when if you read the Batman family from way back, in its first run, when that comic book used to be out, it used to have Batman family, Superman family, yada, yada, yada. Right. In the Batman family, there was crossovers where it would be Robin and Batgirl. But at this point, they were both older. Like, Robin was in college, and Batgirl is just a couple of years older than Robin. Not by much, but a couple of years older, Barbara Gordon. And they teamed up on a couple of missions, and they started dating.
Yep.
On and off, they always had that relationship, and because of the times and how they had to write things, they couldn't probably write the relationship as deep as it should have been, but they had a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then he dated Starfire, on and off from Teen Titans. Okay.
Yep.
The only one he never dated was Wonder Girl, and they almost talked about it, but he sees Wonder Girl, the original, like Donna Troy, as a sister.
Yes.
Right? That's their relationship. Their relationship is not anything romantic. It's as literally brother and sister, best friends. That's how that relationship always stood the test of time. So I don't see, once again, what girl in high school going to run up and keep up with Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, because one, any girl he's going to date will not know him as Robin, because he has to let into that world. He's got to let in the whole world of Batman and the crazies. He needs someone, as we said before, that's be able to protect themselves. Right. Batgirl understands Gotham. Batgirl knows the identity both back and forth. Okay, Starfire, same thing. I mean, come on, Starfire is an alien Amazon warrior, if you have to put it in any way. Yeah,
good crossover, good understanding. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Telling you, it's crazy. Crazy out here in the streets, man. Crazy out in these streets.
Crazy in the streets. That's all it is. But once again, who gonna bully Dick Grayson? Maybe people might try, but man, people gonna fail.
Yeah, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel it today. What? You gonna learn today.
You gonna learn today. I mean, Spider-Man got bullied a lot, and I don't know how Spider-Man. He should have taken some Dick Grayson lessons or something like that. I don't know how he got bullied in school all the time. I mean, but that was how Spider-Man and Peter Parker was. One time he showed off, and the rest of the time he kept it low key, not to give away his identity and break face, so to speak. Lucky for Flash Thompson, because once again, if I was Peter Parker and I had my Flash Thompson in front of me, and the worst part is Flash loved Spider-Man, but he hated Peter Parker, right? So I still would have gotten him from the distance, whatever case. Something. So
something would happen.
Something would happen. But once again, I'm a little bit not right in the head. So something would happen.
You're hilarious.
I'm from a town of, mess around and find out. You understand that?
Mess around
and find
you
out.
gonna find out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the polite way to put it. Well, guys, you've just seen the episode of Hotshots. This was supposed to be a different topic altogether. Clearly, you can see by my shirt. And we just got into an organic conversation about Robin being bullied. So once again, thank you for this episode of Hotshots. Keep it, remember, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. And thank you for those who've joined the Patreon page where, we've got these videos are going to come up every so often and just put them out there for the masses. And we'll release one so people can get an idea what we do on Hotshots. So that's all it is. This is the iConis podcast. This is Barry 3D, and along with me is
Rod C. Yo,
Woo! We out.
Let's go.